Hello, everybody. Welcome to our still as of yet unnamed podcast. We're kind of in the witness protection program when it comes to finding us, but don't worry, that's going to change. We're really excited about today's show. Besides having our IT wizards, Mr. Larkin and Gary Silman, Mr. F&I, we've got a gentleman I've been anxious to meet. His name is Matt Dykstra. He put together a company called Pauldron 2 years ago. Man, they're about to hit the ground running, and they can absolutely offer the same value to a dealer that Mr. Larkin can with IT and Mr. Silman can by bringing integrity and not losing profit on F&I, probably making more profit. So, Matt, we're thrilled to have you. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do and how you do it? And
Well, yeah, Larry, thank you for the warm introduction. Great to be here today. Gary, Michael, thank you for asking me to join this. So a little bit on myself. So I started in the auto industry when I was 17. Started washing cars like a lot of guys. Moved up, started selling cars. Decided to join the Army at 18. Spent a couple of years in the Army. And when I got out, like a lot of guys, I didn't know what I was going to do. I just came from a really structured environment to going, all right, what's life got for me? Met a couple of guys that advised that I put myself through the Automotive Dealership Institute in Scottsdale. They said I had a knack for talking and that they thought finance would be a good position for me. And I did that back in 2012 and didn't look back. I spent the last 12 or 13 years in automotive retail as an F&I manager, corporate director, platform director. And during that time is really kind of when I started to see this vision for Pauldron. I started to see a lot of areas in the dealership that we're still stuck in 1994. You know, I looked around and said, hey, we're not communicating with customers properly. We're not doing proper follow-up. We're leaving a lot of money on the table.
And Matt, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you've got the year wrong. They're not stuck in 1990. They're stuck in 1944. There's the same complaint about not taking care of the customer and not following up. We could have had this damn conversation with Henry Ford, but Larkin's budget is tight. We couldn't afford to dig him up just for that.
Right? But, you know, I learned a lot in the auto industry about just, hey, there's not good follow-up on customers who don't buy contracts. There's an awful turn system where we're still trying to spiff service riders to take time away from their day to introduce customers to F&I when an F&I manager probably isn't even going to follow up with that. And then I transitioned in 2021 or 22. I transitioned out of retail and got into digital retailing. I said, hey, I wanted something a little bit different for me and my family. I wanted to grow, got into digital retailing, and really saw a path forward for what we're doing with Pauldron, where I saw we're starting to introduce in the dealer space technology and transparency when it comes to selling of vehicles. You know, gone are the days of, you know, click here or call here to see your dealer price. Everyone's pretty transparent now, and I think COVID had a big piece of that where people had to shop online. And it created an avenue that no one else has taken advantage of, and that is how do we digitize the F&I follow-up, and how do we digitize the service drive to where it's very easy for consumers to access your dealer's products right within your store. So we decided to build a program that focuses on the service drive and integrating a platform that allows your service customers to shop for your protections at any time. And that's what we've done here at Pauldron. And my background in retail and digital retailing has really allowed us to catapult Pauldron to the front of the list of platforms that are digitizing the engagement for customers today.
How big of a challenge is it, Matt, when you explain to dealers that you want to digitize their service department and they go, I have a service department? How come nobody told me? I wonder what was behind the building.
It's funny because I'll ask every dealer, hey, what's your spiff program for your service riders? And they all go, man, we tried something, it just didn't work well. Maybe 1 or 2% will say, hey, we have a good system, we turn right, we train properly. I'm like, awesome, that's great. But how much are you missing? I mean, if we look at some analytics today, I'm sure you guys have seen this, sales to sales is down to 35%. If you look at your service drive, over 70% of customers after year 3 are no longer returning to the dealer. And why is that? Well, it could be long wait times, it could be lack of transparency, it could just be ease and convenience. But what that's leading to is it's leading to less service to sales. If we don't have customers there and we don't have a system to reach out to them, what are we doing? We're so focused on that next customer instead of taking care of our best customer. And if there's consumers coming into our service drive, we want to make sure they're taken care of. Our system is designed to alleviate any pressure from your service drive. I'll go back to my days as a director. I would roll out $200 or $300 spiffs to my service riders to bring me a customer that I could call and sell a service contract. But what are we doing? We're creating a selling environment. I don't know about you, but if I go to a store, if someone's trying to hard sell me on something, I'm not buying. But I go somewhere where they provide information and an easy experience, I become a buyer. At that point, I want to spend my money. We wanted to give these dealers the ability to have a platform that allows their customers at their own and ease and convenience to shop for these products. Now it's no longer bringing someone to the F&I office and trying to sell them. It's, hey, Larry, I see that you're spending $3,000 out of pocket today repairing your transmission. You want to avoid that in the future? Scan this QR code, and at your convenience, you can look at our protection offerings.
Doesn't it blow your mind that besides the horrible retention problems it causes when you don't nurture your service department, in many ways it's a purer profit than what you have in the front end of the store?
Absolutely. And we want to look at guaranteed profits. You know what you make in fixed. You can look at your effective hourly rate and you can tweak it. Everything else on the front end, that's going to be economically driven. If you're a CDJR store and you're an MSRP store, and down the street you got another one and they're an invoice dealer, who's selling more cars?
Are you paying attention to this, Michael Larkin? This is why they call it variable operations up front, as opposed to fixed.
I mean, that's why everything in it. We look at F&I PVRs. Those are constantly moving. There's no dealer out there that is 1850 every single month, month in and month out. They have up months, they have down months, and scale of economy plays greatly into how we are.
You're incorrect. The ones that have a steady profit deal with a gentleman named Gary Silman. You might have heard of him.
I've talked with Gary a long time. I've seen a lot of the things that he does. When it comes to stability, you're going to want someone like Gary in your stores that are helping you stabilize these different departments.
No, wait a minute. You're talking about the stability of the dealership, not Gary's mental stability, because me and Larkin, we're well acquainted here.
You don't want to open that box. I opened that box once. It was a 3-hour conversation. I said 2 words, didn't know what was happening, but we all know.
I have my rule.
So, in essence, what you're trying to do is what is really probably one of the most needed things at a dealership. I think anybody that's paying attention today would realize the 2 things that dealers have to be very aware of is acquisition of used cars and, of course, the turn of used cars, and maximizing their service department. I'm so tired of going on podcasts, Matt, and saying I still see dealers not having sales service meetings. There's still walls and barriers. How the hell can you have a wall and barrier when it's a completely symbiotic relationship? We need to sell a car. They don't have cars to work on. If they don't keep the people happy, they don't come back to us.
At the end of the day, dealers are still so siloed. They are, I go back to the days of being an F&I manager. I had a GSM when I was a director that him and I butted heads constantly. And I kept going to him and saying, look, we feed each other. Like, you and I need to be the most on the same page of any people in the dealership. Your GSM and your finance director are going to control the profitability of the store. But not including your service director in those conversations, in my opinion, is asinine. You have a fixed operation that most of the time is going to absorb most of your operational costs. Why are we not working hand in hand to maximize profits all around? I'm using my service drive to recondition my cars, take my trades in, make sure that everything is ready.
Matt, do you ever go to restaurants? If you do, you realize that one of their strongest areas of profit is liquor. If they get a liquor license, they do handstands. And they give you a little more. There's a menu, but there's a nice wine list they offer because the profit structure's there. Any dealer, and there's tons of them out there, it's sad, I'm not beating them up, don't understand how important to everything fixed ops is. Your retention, your profit, just everything that you could possibly imagine. Shakespeare called it foreshadowing. You see all authors do it now. They kind of introduce a character that may not see central to the theme, and later on they become central to the theme. How can every dealer, not insist that every salesperson do a service walk while they're showing the car? Done. Just like every service advisor should do a walk around on every customer's car. How can they not understand I mean, for an F&I, I'm not picking on you, you're sharp as hell, but for an F&I guy to argue about the non-symbiotic relationship is stupid. The whole reason you're selling them a service contract is they can go into service. Wouldn't it be a little more apropos if the salesman said, by the way, if we're lucky enough during your business, this is Matt Dykstra. He's our service manager. He's our advisor. He'll be working on your car. You know, there's a thing called EMI, Early Management Intervention. And it's where instead of the manager being a stranger, you come out and say, hey, I see who you're working with. I just want you to know I'm going to be eventually talking to you. Any questions at all? I just wanted you to see who I was. Why wouldn't you do that universally with service?
Sure.
How scary is it that some people don't realize what services we perform? And you can't assume that the public knows, because I got 3 car guys on the show along with myself, and we've all heard the same insane question. A customer calls and goes, do you take trade-ins? Do we take trade-ins? We live for trade-ins. So if they're that unknowledgeable of how our business works, how can we not make it clear? We want your business, and then we want to keep you happy. We got the best service. By the way, you see the tire display? You see the oil change? We're unbelievably reasonable, and now you're dealing with factory parts, so you don't have to worry about a problem later. I don't think that's a hard push, and yet it's like you're trying to steal their children if you explain to them what they have to do. So, Matt, give us some kind of basic and background, what it is you do. It's simple with Gary Silman. He brings the integrity and the transparency into F&I, which saves you a lot of problems and actually makes you more money because people don't feel like they're getting talked down to. Mr. Larkin spent way too much of his teenage years in front of a computer instead of talking to girls. He's our IT wizard. And even though I'm a little on the shy side, I'm actually a pretty darn good trainer and recruiter.
You need to come out of your shell, Larry. You need to come out of your shell.
In plain English, Matt. Yeah, you and me meet in an elevator at National Automobile Dealers Association. I go, hey, Matt Dykstra, what do you do? Give it to us clean and easy.
So, Pauldron is an F&I remarketing platform that allows dealers to re-engage with everything from their day one customer all the way to that lifetime service customer. So our system is going to extrapolate your dealer data, and we're going to assign where your customers are at in their life cycle of ownership. We're going to re-engage day one. Larry, you came into my store. You didn't buy a service contract. Like most people don't. We look nationally, 35% of consumers buy a service contract in the dealer. You want to know what happens to those customers within 2 years? 40% of them purchase from a third party. So our system, Pauldron, is a play on words. Pauldron is shoulder armor. We're going to shield your dealers from the onslaught of third parties. We're going to re-engage with your customers in a white labeled platform to offer your products to your customers.
And Matt, your hook's got to be simple. Hey, I don't care who you are or what you are. You get 2 calls a week about your extended warranty has expired. We want to sell you one. So if you've got that kind of universal campaign and pressure, why wouldn't you want something internally from Pauldron steering you to these customers and giving you the availability? And all you're doing is marketing to your own people. It's the same concept of salespeople not being in service 7:30 in the morning with the donuts. Do I have that right, Matt?
We do, and we take it even a step further than that, Larry. We understand how consumers are bombarded today by outside sources. We deliver what's called high content, low touch, meaning we're not going to bombard these customers. We boast a 37% open rate on our email campaigns simply because we're high quality. We boast a 5% click-through rate. 5% of those customers are actually entering your storefront to purchase your products. And we boast less than a 1% unsubscribe rate. So your customers stay your customers. But Larry, it's not just about day one service contracts. We have a full lifetime of marketing built out to re-engage with these customers at pivotal points. You know the number one pain point for a consumer is when it comes to an extended warranty is the expiration of the manufacturer's warranty. We have that covered. We're going to re-engage with your dealer customers in what we call a trade or protect campaign. Anytime we identify a customer has a major life cycle change, we're going to offer them the ability to trade their vehicle with links to your online appraisal tool, or, hey, you don't want to trade, no problem. Click here to view your coverage options. It's a pain point. You're losing coverage. We want to make sure you're taken care of. We do the same thing for all of your customers that have expiring service contracts they bought from your dealership. We work with every provider. We're agnostic. We're going to pull in those lists of everything you've sold that's set to expire in the next 30 days. We're going to launch Trade or Protect and renewal campaigns.
No, wait a minute, Matt. This sounds like the ultimate win-win. It's a win for the customer. It's a win for the customer because it's much – I'm a dealer, and now I'm a vendor. It's much more cost-effective, and you get better protection if you buy within the period of the factory warranty. And it's a plus for every dealer because the amount of business they're losing. It's like worrying about an acquisition, and you think you're sharp and your used car manager's sharp, and then you see what Carvana is doing, and you want to jump off a bridge.
No, I mean, you're completely right. And I love that you mentioned Carvana because, a lot of people in the beginning were like, oh, they didn't do it, but they corrected. And now when it comes to online, you can't touch them. But we take it even a step further. We talk about Service Drive, right? I see Service Drive as such an untapped revenue source for dealers where, yeah, you may have those service writers trying to identify customers, but what if you had a platform that you could upload every customer pay RO to and an email went out? Hey, Michael, thank you for spending $1,800 at ABC Honda. We noticed you are a little undercovered on your protections. Click here to view your options to save money in the future. That's a pain point. I just spent money, and now my dealer is giving me the opportunity to save money. I would rather buy from a dealership, even if you don't like dealers. It's a face you can go to. I'd rather buy from a dealer than CarShield. I'd rather buy from a dealer than any other third party because I have someone that I can physically go talk to about my coverage.
But, Matt, that's incumbent upon the dealer, just like it is to show them service, to explain the value. Again, you can't say, don't go to an oil change place, they're terrible. But you can say there's factory parameters. There's things that happen. You're better off because we have to be responsible. We get reviewed where a used car lot or an oil change place doesn't. And again, the factory parts issues, the fact that if, it all has a domino effect. If one thing isn't right, it's the Newton's law. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. So, yeah, I really I see why Gary was so excited about this because on several levels, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Gary's waving his phone at me.
Who's that again? Please.
Answer that phone. That's Larry. This is the consumer's best friend. And until the dealer learns how to communicate with the consumer off of the cell phone, they're going to continue to get what they get. And, the last several years, while COVID has created all of the challenges, I have been working diligently with people like Matt and learning from people like Matt. And as I'll continue to say for the future is the cell phone. And we need to utilize the tools that we're able to use with AI technology to handle our day-to-day responsibilities. And so this is where I will continue to bring people like Matt. There's other service drive products out there. That's wonderful. But we are in a world right now where we've tried for 20 years to encourage employees of dealerships to do their jobs. We asked them, we paid for it, we did everything. They fought us. We stopped it. Guess what? Here's everybody's brand new opportunity. Harness the technology, learn the programs, utilize them in your departments, or yes, you will be replaced because AI can do a much better job when they want to cooperate. So here's everybody's opportunity in 2025 to embrace the technology that everybody is trying to help them manage their operations successfully in a digital world while being compliant, meeting all the guidelines that are out there, all in one nice package. Welcome to my world. I'm glad to have everybody here. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Larry. Just sign up.
Wait a minute, you just snuck something in there that can't be overlooked. Talking about profit, talking about retention is vital. But today what's just as vital is compliance. Every day we see another dealer, they're not getting hit, they're getting crippled. Yeah. We're not talking about the old days where they came in and the state fined you $10,000 and you were angry. They're fining people millions. They're putting people out of business. So as much profit as you want to make, as much as you want to run a business that's on a continuum, you got to be compliant.
Yeah, that's that. And so software systems, cauldrons, the wrap up, the mop up, you still need a wonderful digital menu to present anywhere that the customer wants to have their presentation. Treat them like kings and queens. That's what you are. You're a service facility. You're a dealership. You sell cars. You fix cars. Help. That's what the 70s. Well, let's go back even further. That's what Henry Ford's vision was. Let's talk about Henry Ford did a great thing for the world, and let's continue with his legacy to do the right things going forward.
And Garrett, he raised the wages of his workers, and every other businessman said, Henry, what are you doing? He said, if they're going to build them, I want them to be able to afford to buy the product that they're building.
No, perfect. Gary, you hit on something there that I'd love to talk about. That's compliance. Dealers, every single system they use, they need to know is, hey, are we PCI compliant? Are we CAN-SCAM? Are we TCPA? Everything that is in there. It's a great thing about Cauldron is we have all of that. And we've been vetted by the right companies. We have the provider exchange network that's vetted our process. I mentioned payments in our platform. We've got integrations with Line 5, SPP, Paylink. We're adding Budco. We're designed to meet the dealer with the premium finance companies they already use. And a cool feature we have coming soon is what we call our Equifax data enhancement. So a cool thing about our platform, anytime a consumer's in it and they update their data, who owns that data? It's the dealer. These are the dealer's customers. We pass all of the information that your consumers update within our platform, including they can add more vehicles to their garage they didn't even buy from your dealer. Now your dealer has the ability to go after trades and market products on vehicles they didn't even know your consumer owned.
Sure, so and not to cut you, Gather, we were talking to Gather, which is our other new partner, and they can verify the coverages of the other cars on the customer's policy to see what they have in their garage, because now they know all their different cars if they have multiple cars. So Gather is our front end of the sale that we want dealers to use.
Absolutely. And having data is king in the dealerships. Part of our platform is an admin panel that allows your dealers to view every single customer's interaction within our platform. We don't harvest data. We don't sell to third parties. Mr. Dealer, this is your data. The only person we're going to share with is your provider so they can enhance the coverage that we have the ability to offer within our platform. It's a win-win for everybody. The more we understand about consumer analytics and behavior, the better we can get at the dealer at dealing with our consumers and their behavior in store. I wanted to tell you guys one story about really kind of what cemented in my mind that our approach was going to be successful. So the last auto group that I worked for was going through a buy-sell to AutoNation. And they asked me to come in and help turn around their F&I department, turn around some of their Highline stores. I went into one store in particular. It was our Audi dealership. And I took it over. We were running about $1,500 a car in F&I. And I looked at the process and I went, man, these Highline customers are experiencing something broken. They're not being exposed to everything they need to make a qualified decision when they're in finance. So we changed our approach. Michael, if you were buying a car from Gary, as soon as you said yes, Gary would say, hey, Michael, I want to thank you for doing business with us here. In the spirit of transparency, we want you to know everything that's available for your vehicle. Do me a favor, scan this QR code, and you can look through all of the different options that my F&I manager is going to go over with you. And in fact, let me go get him. That way, as you're looking through it, he can answer any questions you have. In 90 days, we turned that dealership around from running $1,500 and about 15% service contract penetration to $4,000 and 80% VSC penetration. And it's because when you give consumers information that they can digest and remove pricing from it, they're just going to ask about the coverages. We would make them like Audi Care Plus, Audi Care Platinum, Audi Care Complete, just list feature benefit. And a lot of these customers spending $100,000 would walk into finance and go, hey, Matt, this Audi Care Platinum, what is it? I'd be like, well, here's what it covers. Here's all the benefits. They'd say, how much is it? I'd have no problem telling you. It's a $14,000 package for 6 years. Most of them went, okay, can you add it to the financing? Because we gave them the ability to look at everything, understand it, know the feature benefit, and in their own mind, they went, okay, it's like $2 or $3 grand a year for complete peace of mind of everything. That's worth it to me. If we can make something worth it to the customer, they're going to buy. And that's really what's cemented in my mind. Like, hey, these QR codes are able to drive our PVR that much, and anyone can steal that idea. Go ahead, go build your sites, do it. I encourage it in F&I. But imagine now, if customers in F&I are doing that, we can see that kind of lift. Why aren't we getting that out of service? You know, these QR codes, they're not just point of sale. We encourage dealers to embed them on their customer pay ROs. That way when you get home, you're talking to your husband or your wife, you're looking at the bill, you'll see a little QR code that says scan here to save on this in the future, and you scan it. You can put it anywhere. The point is giving consumers the option to look at your protection packages will drive your revenue up simply because you're creating that buying atmosphere, and it's something that they need. It's a quantifiable, tangible item that you know at the end of the day is going to benefit you, and it's worth it. It's worth that monthly payment. It's worth paying that price up front to have it all taken care of.
Two things, Matt. Is convenience is the new currency, and that's exactly what you just described. And also too, the enemy of the conversion is the click.
Absolutely.
And there's no click in scanning a QR code.
There is, and there's no app to download. I believe it or not, a lot of our providers have been like, are you creating an app? And we are emphatic that we are not. I'm that end consumer. I have minimal apps on my phone, nor do I want apps that I rarely open. I'd rather be able to go to a website, log in, and be done. Apps are a thing that are great where they're needed, but a program like this, no, let's make it simplistic. And you mentioned clicks. Here's the crazy thing, Michael. Any dealer that wants to see a demo for this will see that within 5 clicks, literally 5, you can buy a service contract from your dealer. It's that simplistic.
Great stuff.
It's the way of the world. This is the future, and I couldn't be happier that Matty spent the time and built what he built. He got through my rough exterior of questioning him on what he's doing and challenging him, and it's just every dealership, just like I was saying on Gus, our gatherer. You need Gus gathering in the front, and you need Pauldron working in the back, and boy, we'll collaborate and meet in the middle to create some wonderful, wonderful dealer operations in the future. They just got to embrace it.
I like it. Anybody have any more thoughts? I think, Matt, I think you've explained yourself beautifully. Anyone would be crazy not to reach out to you, and obviously anybody that needs help with F&I, which is probably most places, you got Gary Soman, and Mike's doing incredible things with AI and tying things in and making things easier. And obviously, if you do need people or training, here I am.
Awesome.
Anybody have anything else?
I thrilled to spend Friday afternoon with everybody. Thank you. We got a Super Bowl coming up this weekend, so I'm busy. And I'm not even paying attention to that. You know, I'm in a virtual land. I'm in a showroom right now. Michael's been teaching me stuff.
I'm not even gonna ask Larry who he's rooting for.
Guys, you're isolated. You talked earlier, Matt, about silos. These guys are siloed in Connecticut. Okay, here in Philadelphia, if you got hit by a train while they were taking you to hospital, you'd be going EAGLES Eagles.
Yeah. I forgot who I had on the show. Yeah.
What are you talking about, Larkin? Most guys have pinups of women. You had a picture of Bill Belichick, okay?
Or maybe his girlfriend.
Yeah,
I can see that, Matt.
the hoodie.
I can see that. He might not have been smart enough to schmooze with Brady, but he's smart enough to realize he's got a gorgeous woman on his arm there.
Larry, that reminds me. I don't know if you guys watched the NFL awards yesterday, but we talked about how the auto industry is behind. One of the best things is when Snoop Dogg was like, I'm old enough to remember when the Cowboys were good. And I'm old enough to remember, no, wait, she's too young. Bill Belichick's wife, her girlfriend was born well before I can remember, or after. It was hilarious. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
So, but guys, hey, I want to thank you for having me on here, giving the opportunity to spotlight what we're doing. I feel very, very confident that Pauldron is going to have the ability to really change the face of how dealers interact with their customers, drive their own customers back. Gary, I've seen your programs. They're awesome. Michael, everything I've heard about you has been great. Larry, I've seen you around this industry for years. So hopefully we can resonate with some dealers and make some change in what we're doing and get a good name to the auto industry.